explain what are oracles? Why are they important? What are the risks when you might want to use one or not? And then with liquid loans in particular, do we get any clarification on what they're doing? And if not, dare you speculate?
Yep. So an oracle is a server or a piece of software that it reaches out into the real world in some way. Maybe it gets a price from Coinbase. Maybe it reads the temperature on a digital thermometer. And it takes that number and that data and it brings it back to the blockchain. And then that's used in like a program for whatever purpose. So that's what an oracle is. It's like it helps bring real life data to the blockchain. Now, the problem is that that's like the weakest point of failure. And like blockchains, that's where shit breaks down. Because either the oracle makes a mistake, or the oracle lies, or the human who controls the oracle lies, and it could be manipulated. So with the oracles, it's a necessary evil, and you need it for projects, but it's a huge attack vector, right? It's a huge security risk.
I just want on that too. Do you know of any examples of oracles being attacked and like there being bad data that's caused something to go wrong? I'm just curious. Are there any public examples of that yet?
Oh man, God, I forget the name of the project, but I could have sworn there was one where an oracle got a bad price feed from some exchanges, and it got people liquidated because it was like the price of a coin, and the oracle reaches out and it's like, hey, what's the price of the coin? And it comes back and it had the wrong answer, and it screwed up people's orders and like liquidation, or I don't I forget the project name, but yeah, like it's rare though. It doesn't happen all the time, and I'm not aware of any issues with Chainlink having problems, but I'm not really digging into it either. I don't know much about Chainlink. I don't own the coin. I don't use it. I'm not a fan. I don't, so.
Well, I know Wait is using Chainlink. When we walked through the contract, I saw that.
Yes.
And I think they're using it because they don't know when the Pulse launch date is. They don't know when the launch dates for other things are. So, instead of hard coding a date or, having some admin key to do all this stuff, they needed to have an oracle to perform this. So in that case, it seems like worst case, bad information calls, they get a wrong launch date or something. Then maybe people get a little less coins or something like that. I guess it's different in certain cases where, if you're using it for margin trading or otherwise that can escalate calls and things, that may be a little more risky. They definitely seem like, and I'll let you go on with oracles, but they definitely seem like there's certain cases where they're more risky than others. But yeah, Chainlink is one example. You can continue on that if you like.
Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of what they are, right? And there's other, Chainlink's just one of them. I'm not too familiar with them or their competitors because I don't really use this stuff, but there is Oracle software out there. Blue Bomb, they got the feed from the NYSEX. I think that's a joke.
I think it's a legit comment. Yeah, I think he's actually being like that. I think he was commenting on the one where you got the bad data, stuff like that. But nice way of spelling it.
Yeah. So because Richard says this, I mean, I'm quoting Richard Hart here, is like when the blockchain reaches out to touch the real world, that's where shit breaks down. That's what you don't want to do, right? Like that's anything on the blockchain should just stay in the blockchain.
He says that. Also, I have a feeling that when he finds a way to use oracles that, for one of the RH products, I have a feeling he may be one of those, when the facts change, my mind change, and he'll be like, well, certain cases of oracles are okay. I have a feeling that might be the case one day. Or maybe he's developing internally more secure stuff too. There's certainly a lot of people using them for different things. I guess the different risk service depends on what you're using them for and what your source is and stuff. I wonder how Chainlink I'm going to imagine Chainlink has some, they may have some riskier oracles versus, you know, high risk, low risk, all this stuff too. If I were building it, that would make sense to do. You know, try to warn people, hey, don't take advantage of this type of thing. So with liquid loans, did we get any clarification on their oracles or what's going on there?
So yeah, I guess word on the street is they're not going with Chainlink, but there's another, I don't know, vendor or company that makes oracles and oracle software that they have partnered with and are working with, but they're not able to disclose the name or the partnership at this time. That's the last I've heard. So, but they've confirmed it's not Chainlink. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Maximum products use hex day as a calendar oracle. It works because you don't have to trust someone to set the day. Yeah, there you go. It seems like an extremely low risk way to use an oracle.
Well, that doesn't leave the blockchain though. It's not really an oracle, right? Because it's Ethereum code, right?
I don't know where.
It's an oracle in the fact that it has to reach out to another smart contract to get the answer. But I don't think it's an oracle in the fact that it's like an independent server that's like off the blockchain that then has to like compute and reach out, right? But DivCatcher can correct me if that's the case.
Yeah, DivCatcher, elaborate if you'd like to on that. Yeah. I wonder where hex day.
Yeah, he says it works because you don't have to trust someone to set the day. Yeah, because like it's just code. Yeah.
Blue Bones discussing commentary. Expect codex come from this team.
Yeah, it's all in the chain. Exactly. It's not like external data source.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so that's a good distinction. Oracles that use blockchain data versus reach out to the real world. I could see those, you know, less risky versus more risky.
Yeah, and then it's like, what is your external data source? Is it a SQL database run by a company? Is it a digital thermometer? Is it a telescope? Is it, you know, what do you got it plugged into, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could see like the worst example being there's some website that has some number on it that you use. What if they change the website? You know, what if the website gets hacked? Even if you trust it, like, you know, is the single point of failure that one web service out there that you think nobody knows about, but then they get hacked or somebody finds out and they change the value and now everything's screwed? It's definitely a more risky version of it. But yeah, point is, everyone, there's different kinds of oracles and with higher and lower risk profiles.
Yeah. And then to use liquid loans as an example, because I like picking on them.
No, you don't.
So they're going to be using it for price feeds. They're going to be asking decentralized and centralized exchanges for what is the price of Pulse, like every second. And then, yeah, and then they're probably going to average it, which is smart, right? Because they're going to get it from Uniswap on Ethereum. And let's say Coinbase, real simple example. Uniswap never lies. It's a smart contract, right? It's Coinbase, centralized exchange. They lie all the time. They turn their servers off all the time. You can't trust them for a second. Their price data is probably pretty crap. Uniswap's is pretty rock solid. You take the two, average them out, and boom, there's your price.
I can see programmatically you putting in some safeguards of saying, okay, we're going to do an average, and if the deviation is like insane, then we just throw it out. We say, nope, we're gonna stop poll for another 60 seconds, try again, and then we're gonna, you know, have some backup mechanism. I think there's some ways to make that a little more secure.
Yeah, and weight them just by who they are. You know, you can just give Uniswap more value as like, wait, yeah, there you go. Some type of time weighted and moving median. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So you just kind of take the blend of all of your sources, which is good. That's awesome.
Good.
So to summarize, for liquid loans and other projects that need oracles, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You need them, otherwise the project won't work. So, you know, it is what it is. It's really all about the data. It's like, where's your data source? You know, is that clean? Is that good?